our guy Jesse Wable. Jesse, what's up, man? What new year, new hair? What's up? Talk to me, bro. What's good?
Yeah, man. I go through these stages every year where I feel like growing my hair out, and then I get to that awkward phase, and I'm just like, nah, we got to get rid of it. So I got rid of it.
Did Kaysen or Tiffany help you do this?
Yeah, I had Tiffany help me with a little bit on the backside that I couldn't quite see, but yeah.
That's what's up, man. Well, happy Monday. Happy New Year as well. Thank you for joining us here on NFC Now. Before we get to all the really dope news that you were dropping yesterday and all the breaking, it seemed like you were holding on to some bullets in the chamber before yesterday. We have a really big fight card coming up this Friday, January 20th at Monday Night Brewing. Now, we got 3 belts, the bantamweight, the welterweight, and the lightweight belts up for grabs, man. Could you just talk us through the fight card?
Yeah, man, I'm super pumped about this card. Like Dave was saying earlier, I don't remember the last time we've sold out this far in advance either. Maybe even before I was working for him. I don't think we've ever sold out a week ahead of time. Normally a couple days before, but yeah, I was really surprised and happy to see that, we sold out 6 days ahead of time. That's awesome. But yeah, man, it's a really good fight card, of course, headlined by Zach Cooper and Walter Flores. Excited about that fight. Really excited. Both of those are very good fighters. They've both been around a long time, and they're both, well-rounded everywhere. Pumped about that one. But yeah, the 3 title fights. I'm really, really excited about the Kamiko Hall and Earl McKinney fight. Kamiko Hall has been messaging me every day. Just is super pumped about the fight, asking me tons of questions, asking me about the venue, telling me he wants to go ahead and sign up his next fight. He wants to go ahead and sign his pro debut. He's pumped for this fight. And Earl McKinney, like I said, 6-1, his only loss is to Malcolm Wellmaker, which there's no shame in losing to that guy. So, that's definitely one of the fights that I'm really, really excited about. And the other 2 title fights, Ronald Humphreys versus Xavier Horton. This is the first time Ronald has fought for the NFC. I'm super pumped that he's on the card. I've wanted him to fight on a card for a while, but man, he's been hard to match up, because he's just so good. He's such a great fighter. And he's fighting Xavier Horton, who, is a character in the NFC community. A lot of people know him. A lot of people pay attention to Xavier. And I know a lot of people are going to have their eyeballs on that fight, so that's going to be a good one. And then let's see, the third title fight, of course, can't forget Trace Harper versus Quincy Evans. Man, just have no idea how that fight's going to go. I definitely can't wait to see it. We're going to finally have a 155-pound champion at that weight class. It's either going to be Trace Harper or Quincy Evans, so can't wait for that one.
Now, I agree with you on that one. I definitely can't wait for that fight. The Ronald Humphrey fight, I'm actually really interested to see him compete because I haven't seen him compete. And obviously, Xavier Horton is the heel of the NFC. And I said that with all due respect. I don't know if he knows that. I don't know if he thinks that about himself. But I would say that Xavier Horton is like his top tier heel. Is that a thing that we're voting on? The heel of the NFC?
It might be for next year. We added best walkout from suggestions a couple weeks ago.
I think if we put that in there, like best heel, I think that's
best baby face.
The best baby face. That's fair. The best baby face. I think.
Who's the best baby faces?
Baby face and heel. Baby face is the good guy. Heel's the bad guy.
Okay, I've never heard baby face.
I think we should have both because I think Reese Watkins would also be in the heel category as well. I saw them going back and forth. That's a whole tangent.
I don't know if Xavier is that bad of a heel. I think it's Reese that brings that out of him. Unless I don't think Xavier really talks junk to a lot of other people besides Reese.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So
I think Reese is the leader.
Reese might take the bet on that. We might need to do a special category when it comes to the thing. But we're talking about NFC 152 this Saturday. This Friday, rather. That's Friday. When it comes to Akeem Bashir, there was some breaking news that maybe he was out of an opponent. Did we find him an opponent?
We did. Jamal Johnson. I forgot exactly what the extent of the injury was, but he's out with an injury. But we have an opponent that Akeem was supposed to fight twice. So they were scheduled to fight originally a couple years ago. Justin backed out. Then they were rescheduled, and Akeem actually broke his ankle or busted his Achilles, something real bad to where he couldn't continue. So he backed out. This is the third time they've been scheduled to fight each other. As soon as I offered it to Justin, he said, let's go. He was ready to fight Akeem. They've actually been talking. When Akeem posted that he was fighting Jamal Johnson, Akeem actually sent me a screenshot from Justin Ortega, who's his new opponent. basically clowning him, saying he wanted to fuck him up. So as soon as Jamal backed out, that was the guy I went to. He signed immediately. So I'm glad that one's going down. It looks like a little bit of a grudge match.
Dave?
I was just following the conversation.
No, my bad.
I was looking at comments
you
right
put
there.
the mic up. Dave and I was like, when Dave puts the mic up, I'm thinking he has something to say. Now,
I think I was putting the mic up because your dad made a comment. Dave, bring your audio up a tap. I don't think my audio goes up a tap. I don't have an IT department. I think I just need to.
No, sometimes you'll put your microphone down and it'll just make a little like sound from your mic, but it's all good. Now we have James Smith fighting DK Brewer. That should be a really fun fight. I know we had DK on the pod. I'm also seeing there's a lot of ATT Team Atlanta on this card. You got Jalen McDaniel fighting Titus Moore. Is this his MMA debut?
So Jalen McDaniels fought for the NFC a couple times. He fought Trace Harper as an amateur. Super, super close fight. But Jalen actually picked up the victory. He was only 4-0, 3-0 or 4-0 as an amateur, I believe, and they turned him pro immediately for the PFL Challenger Series in Florida. 19 years old. He had only been fighting for less than a year. He was 4-0, 19 years old, made his debut at 18, and they turned him pro. You know, I'm not going to lie. I kind of thought it was a little too early. I like Jalen. Jalen's a great fighter. Don't get me wrong. I mean, he's super, super talented, but dang, I kind of made that mistake turning pro at 19. Like I remember, like just kind of hold off a little bit, do more fights. But anyways, he made his pro debut, fought a tough guy, lost by decision. So this is going to be his second pro fight. And yeah, he's fighting Titus Moore out of, I believe, South Carolina, North Carolina, somewhere out of state. But Titus Moore had a really good amateur record and was winning his pro debut until he lost by disqualification, unfortunately. But yeah, that's going to be a great fight. But yeah, I'm glad to have some ATT Atlanta guys on the card. And DK Brewer and James Smith, I can't wait for that fight. That is a high-level Muay Thai fight. James Smith has fought for us a ton of times over the years. DK Brewer, of course, has fought for us a lot over the years, has had some tough fights. And both of those guys bring it. And they're fighting at 170 pounds. Those boys are going to be looking lean, mean, and in shape. And that's definitely going to be a banger. I can't wait for that one.
Yeah, I'm looking at James has 22 fights. DK has 9 fights. I mean, I don't want to say that could headline a Jesse Wable amateur series, but that fight would usually be getting a lot more chatter if it wasn't for the card that this is built around. I'm excited to see David Wilson, not only because he's only 5 feet tall, and I feel like Akeem Olajuwon next to him, but just looking at his videos of the street beefs, I don't think we pushed him enough last time he fought. So yeah, I'm interested a lot in David Wilson, Baby Hulk.
Yeah, I think he's got over 10 million views or something you said on YouTube from the street beefs. And his last fight, so this is actually a rematch. He's facing David Devant. He trains under Moose and Corbray at Champions Training Center. These guys fought back in September of 2022, and it ended in the first round in just a little over a minute. David Wilson got a takedown on Devant. As Devant was standing up, he was still down on one knee. David Wilson threw a knee to the face. There was a little bit of confusion with the doctor. They ended up stopping it and calling it a no contest. Both corners, both sides were really upset about it. They wanted to continue. I know David Devant sold a lot of tickets. David Wilson came here from South Carolina. So it was a bummer, definitely. But these guys are going to run it back Friday night. And yeah, I'm pumped about that one too.
And I'm not going to lie, I completely and utterly made up the 10 million views. I saw one video had 4 million, one had 2 million, one had 2 million. So I just came up with an even number when I posted on Facebook over 10 million views. So
ain't no rounding. Let's round up. We can round to the nearest. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Maybe it's 20 million. I really don't know. I only looked
at 50 million
videos. Yeah. So we'll ask him. Maybe he can clarify it.
I look forward to talking to David. David Devant and David Wilson, because I know that hurt a lot. Because I did talk to Baby Hulk at weigh-ins, and he told me he was coming all the way from it was either South Carolina or North Carolina, which is like a 3 or 4 hour drive. And then you said Devant was coming all the way from Champions in Augusta, and for a fight to end in a minute, that has to suck. You know what I mean? It's like we done came all the way out here to do this, and it didn't go down. So definitely look forward to that rematch. I also see we got our guy Isan Mirzad on the card. I've seen him fight before. He's at an ATT Team Lima. I thought he was pretty impressive last time I saw him compete. Yeah,
he's fighting Austin Freeland, who's 2-0, and he actually has a win over Idel Gladney, which again was a super close fight. But if Austin wins, both of these guys, this is going to be their last regular amateur fight. After this, they'll both be advanced amateur, which is awesome. We're going to have 2 new contenders in the 145-pound division, which I'm always trying to build these amateurs to get them 3 fights so that we have advanced amateurs. Because sometimes they're hard to come by. But yeah, that's going to be a great fight. Ehsan is a badass. He trains under Brantley Furr and Diego Lima at Team Lima, and he brings it every time he fights. And what I like about him is he never questions any matchup I send to him. Let's do it. Let's go. Yes, sir. I want it. And that's what I like to hear from guys. And Austin Freeland, 2-0. He hasn't fought since that Idel Gladney fight. He's 2-0, looking to make his return. And yeah, that's going to be a good fight for sure.
16 jam-packed fights. There's no wrestling. We decided no intermission jiu-jitsu on this card.
Yeah, nothing like that. Probably no intermissions at all. Probably go straight through. But more importantly, I think people have noticed, but we're not on Flow Combat anymore. So this would be our first time on Fight. In my opinion, much bigger network. They do MMA, they do Jiu-Jitsu, they do pro wrestling, and they do pro boxing. So I think I haven't made it shy that the goal is for NFC to get into pro boxing this year. We worked with Boswell Promotions a little bit last year. So that might lead into a lot more things. Fight TV does a lot of pro boxing. They just did a Manny Pacquiao fight a couple months ago. So who knows? Maybe who knows if you see us do a ring in a cage one night like we did at Harley Davidson and Conyers a few years ago. Who knows if we'll just use a ring one night and do go back to Wild Bill's the Hooters ring where we do MMA, kickboxing, and pro boxing in the ring. Or we'll just do standalone pro boxing events. I don't know. But the cool thing is now with Fight TV, we have the option to do so many more of those things. So it'll be fun.
Definitely excited about that transition to Fight TV. I'm just going to put this out there. I am not going to sit cage shot if there's only 3 ropes between me and them dudes that be all against them cages. Because sometimes when they'll hit the cage and the cage will jump back and I'm like, whoa, it's a little too close. I don't know how y'all did it back in Wild Bills, but I'm more than confident somebody done fell up out that damn ring.
You got to have 5 ropes. B, a lot of people fell out.
Okay. So Julian's not going to be cage shot if that's going to happen. Because look, that's going to be a long night at the office. You know what I'm saying? Nonetheless, we have 16 jam-packed fights going on this Friday, January 20th at Monday Night Brewing Garage Brewing. Make sure you find the right location before you type it in your Maps app. Now, Jesse, you did a lot of name dropping for this upcoming card on March 10th at the Battery. Can we please just preview some of those fights?
Yeah, so the main event is going to be Mad Mike Wilson taking on Devontae Sewell. So I really wanted to get a good main event on this first card, at Sports and Social in Atlanta. I wanted Corey Jackson. You guys had him on the podcast a couple weeks ago. I really wanted Corey on the card. I wanted Corey versus Devontae. I really wanted that rematch. That was a close fight the first time they fought. There was a lot of controversy behind it. Unfortunately, Corey wasn't available. He's having a surgery, and he's not going to be available for a few months. Out of respect, so normally NFC champions, if you win the belt, you have a year to defend, or we kind of go ahead and vacate the belt and move on with 2 new opponents for the vacant belt. But, Corey's a good guy. He's always been really good to us. So I messaged Corey out of respect and just said, hey, man, look, are you okay with me kind of making an interim title? We've never done that before, but I want to do an interim title with Devontae Sewell versus Mike Wilson, with the winner guaranteed to fight against you later this year. He was down for it. He said, let's get it. That sounds good. So, yeah, that's going to be the main event. Mike Wilson versus Devontae Sewell for the NFC featherweight interim title. And like I said, either one of those versus Corey Jackson next, that's going to be a good time. So excited for that one.
Before we go on to the rest of it, with that fight, are we gonna play into it where Corey Jackson's gonna be cage shot and we'll bring him in the cage? And are we gonna sell it like that, or like how are we doing this, Dave?
Yeah, I think absolutely that's the goal. As long as he's in town to do that, hopefully he comes out with his belt. We strap the belt on Devontae or Mike, and absolutely get a pose off. Maybe a little speech on the microphone.
And Corey has already agreed to do to be a guest commentator for that fight. So he definitely wants to be cage side. He wants to go in the cage and face off versus the winner. So yeah, that's going to be a good one.
Because we in show business, right? We in the sales game. We in the promotions game. You know what I'm saying? Let's get the shot. So for the next promo, we already got the shot. Signed, sealed, delivered.
Then I think the fight we've all been looking for, Abraham Perez, 4-0 versus Chad Risley, 2-1. We've seen both of them do spectacular knockouts, and Abraham won the title belt a couple months ago up at the Wable Amateur Series. So that's a huge fight I'm looking forward to as well.
Yeah, I'm a huge Abraham Perez fan, man. He's quiet, like I said, not on social media a lot, but I've just seen him fight, and I knew his skill set. I've seen his fans come out, and not everybody's big on social media, but Abraham Perez is a really talented fighter, and he's going against Chad Risley. You know what I mean? Out of ATT. As soon as he won that fight, he was messaging me the next day saying, "Jesse, I want to fight Abraham. I want to fight Abraham. Give him to me." And it's going down March 10th, and I'm excited about it.
I'm a big Chad Risley fan. Him and his dad built the fence in my backyard. It hasn't fallen down yet. The tornado didn't take it out last week, so I'm Team Chad Risley for right now.
I ain't going to call what team I'm on, but I will say Abraham Perez's family from Mexico, they took care of your boy. So, I look forward to just the amount of fans that are going to be there. I can only just imagine the crowds that are going to be at the Battery when the NFC makes their debut. In the beautiful confines of the Battery, and is that Marietta or is that Smyrna? Well, I don't know how they get down with that, but it's somewhere in there.
The Braves called it Atlanta,
Cobb County. You know what I'm saying? In Cobb County, I see Dave got the hat on. Talk to me.
I had to make that Tony Hope versus Seth Haas fight for you. I know you called it. You kind of called it out. I know there's some fights that can be made, and I heard you, but there was just it's all about timing sometimes with everything. But that was definitely one fight I wanted to make for you specifically, and we got it done for March 10th. That's going to be probably fight of the night. I mean, they're all going to be good fights, but that's a guaranteed. There's no way that's not going to be a great fight. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
When I saw that, Jesse, it really made my heart warm, and I was like, "Yo, this is the one. Like, that is the fight." And I can't wait for that because they're both. You can tell both of those guys they come to fight. They're not. There's Seth is, what do they say? 40 gauge, 12 gauge. He's 12 gauge, and then Tony Hope is a killer himself. So that's going to be a great fight. I think that's also a promo-worthy fight to be covered, and we'll definitely have both of those guys here on the pod before. Is there any other fights? I saw you got Larry Green matched up.
Let's see. Nathan Rivera, owner of the quickest amateur knockout in 2022, making his return. I think he said he lives about 7-8 minutes away from the venue, and he's fighting Cody Ortiz at a Striker Fight Center. So definitely looking forward to that. I told Nathan, after a performance like that, I said, I'm going to get you on that card. So just, if you can stay tight, try to not book any fights for anybody else. I said, I promise you, I got you on that card. After a performance like that, you got to get him on the card. And but he's fighting a tough guy, Cody Ortiz, at a Striker Fight Center. He won his last fight for us for the NFC. He's a tough guy. He comes from a tough gym. And I was reading one of Nathan's posts. He said you can't get married to your wins and you can't get married to your losses. So and it's gonna be a tough fight. It's gonna be a good fight for both of them. So I'm excited for Nathan and I'm excited for Cody.
And looking at it, the cool thing is we also have Justin Jamar from Huntsville, Alabama.
Yes. Who's
7-3, fighting Nima Chingadze, who's 5-0. The cool thing is, what I say about going to new states and work with other promotions. Justin Jamar is from Huntsville, Alabama. I met him at weigh-ins in Dothan last week. He was wearing a bright orange sweater. It was easy to pick him out. Super nice and friendly guy. At the fight the next day, he's wearing the same orange sweater, so I was able to remember him. Very good marketing by him. Won his fight, and now he's on this card. He met Jesse that night. He met myself and Charlene, and we told him, he wanted to come to NFC. He's been saying he's watched us for years, just never worked out. So that was one of those cross-promotion things with Impact Promotions in Dothan that now we've got Justin on the card, and there's probably more that'll come to our show now that we've had the opportunity to meet these Alabama and Florida guys.
And it gets fresh blood onto the cards too, man. It gets some fresh matchups because, again, one of my biggest gripes is everybody's training with everybody, and so nobody wants to fight each other. Now we have, some new blood, some new matchups to be made.
Yeah. And sometimes it's all about just speaking up. He came to me after his fight and was like, look, dude, I want to get on one of your cards bad. Please hit me up here. Can I go ahead and add you on Facebook right now? Let me go ahead and get your info. I want to stay in touch. And then he came back to me again later and again, like 2 more times. And by the end of the night, the fight card hadn't even ended. And I was already sending out matchups for him. Like, look, here, I'm offering him. Look, here you go. Check it out. And he was like, oh, man, thanks. I appreciate that. And within like 2 days, I already had him something. So, that was really cool. I like that guy. I'm excited to have him on the card.
And the funny thing, there's tons of guys at the weigh-ins that met me and like, oh, you're Mr. NFC, you're Obelus. How do I get on a card? And I was like, okay, come with that same energy tomorrow night because Wable will be here tomorrow. Add him on Facebook, meet him. Because I was like, I take care of all this bullshit. Jesse does all the matchmaking. I was like, if Jesse's car breaks down the way or he blows a flat tire, I'm going to have to talk to all these guys, write their name and info in a notebook and do all this other stuff. So I was like, Jesse better make it or I'm in trouble with these guys.
Jesse does the best job of making these fights, man. He definitely has us excited for not only the March 10th card, but the January 20th card, which is coming up on this Friday, January 20th at Monday Night Brewing Garage. Tickets are all the way sold out. What is capacity?
We're at about 800, not including all the fighters, trainers, gyms, stuff like that. So 800 with the fans, 100% sold out. I think it sold out last Friday, so 7-8 days in advance. So,
we can't do any, so nothing can happen at the door. Everybody's getting turned back at the door.
I basically left it when we do this sold out. I do it a little bit when we probably have 20 or 30 tickets left. That way, in case there's a fighter that his mom or dad forgot to buy tickets, or his best friend, or his husband or wife, whatever it is, I can get them in. But I kind of tell people if it's just fans, they need to watch it on Fight. They need to watch the stream. But this way, we have 20 or 30 to sell just to family and stuff like that. That I'd feel horrible if we can't get in.
And we do have a couple spots open. If anybody's looking to get in, we do need one more cage cleaner and about 3 to 4 more people to help take down the cage. So if anybody is interested in doing either of those, slide in my DMs, David's DMs, and we'll make it happen for you.
I might, if my little brother's not working, I might have to get his little tail on the job.
Yeah, man. Bring him out, man. Bring him out
to work.
Yeah.
Outside of the fights that are going to be taking place on our NFC community Facebook group, I've been seeing some very polite call outs, some not so polite call outs. Where do you stand when you'll see a call out, Jesse, on Facebook, and how do you go about just navigating that?
I love when people call each other out. It makes my job easier. So yeah, if you guys want to fight somebody, that's what I created the NFC community for. You know what I mean? Use it. I love it.
Indeed.
I saw Reese Watkins on there earlier. We're trying to get Reese Watkins a pro debut fight. I know he's calling people out left and right. Who knows? Maybe the Xavier Horton fight this week. Maybe if Xavier wins, Xavier will be looking to go pro, and that's a fight we could make. I know that's definitely a fight that I hope we get to see one day. Xavier Horton versus Reese Watkins. So we'll see.
Indeed. Before we part ways today, Jesse Wable, my question for you is it's a would you rather question. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Would you rather find a rat in your kitchen or a roach in your bed?
A rat in my kitchen.
Would you rather get knocked out by Francis Ngannou or ground and pound by Khabib?
Knocked out by Francis because it'd be quick.
I was thinking the same thing. Would you rather lose by DQ or by judge's decision, which is a robbery?
That's a tough one. I guess decision, robbery. That'd be fine. At least I could bitch about it.
Break your hand or your foot?
That's another tough one. I guess my hand. I guess so. At least I could walk. I broke them both.
In a fight. So
I actually broke my foot in a fight. And here's a funny story. My dumbass didn't know back in the day that we could use fighter's insurance. So my first fight for Dave, I was 18 years old. I was young, dumb, straight out of high school. I actually broke my foot in a fight. Didn't realize it until the next day. Went to the doctor, was fractured. I paid for all that myself. Had no idea. So that's things you learn throughout the days. But yeah, I guess I'd rather break my hand. That way I can at least walk around.
I think that was the same time you posted a photo of your check on Facebook that I wrote you. Maybe your pro debut. Maybe it was that night or a different night. I remember emailing you, and I was like, "Hey, would you mind shading out the amount? Because I don't like everyone to see what everyone gets paid."
Yeah.
And, I remember doing that. Now I got to tell guys to remove my account number and routing number because my check's been stolen. I think twice.
That's funny.
That's real talk, man. Jesse Wable, we appreciate you joining us, man. Before we part ways, man, you got any final thoughts?
Man, everybody, I'm sorry. Unfortunately, tickets are sold out, but catch the pay-per-view on Fight TV. This is going to be an awesome card to start off the year. We'll keep in touch. If any tickets get posted back online, just stay tuned to the NFC community. But hope you all are ready for Friday night. It's going to be a fun one.
My very last question, is Tiffany putting the belt on anybody?
We'll have her put the belt on one person. I'll let her decide which one. It'll be a surprise, but yeah, she'll put the belt on one person.
Y'all make sure y'all tune in for this, man. Hey, David brought it up. I thought it was a nice wrinkle. I know you were handling business. That's why she had to put the belt on, but I think it's a nice wrinkle. You know what I'm saying? It's a way to get Tiffany involved because she is a part of the NFC. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Jesse, thank you for joining us, man.
Thank you, guys.